It's a really crazy morning, guys. The Nasdaq's been bid up all morning, and we're about to get an ECB interest rate number before we get the GDP, and that could have a little impact. But anyway, let me get my screen shared. Excuse me. Welcome everybody. Welcome guests. This ought to be a fun little session. So we're up at the highs across the board, and if you take a look at whoops. Here, let me bring this over to this screen. This is what's going on with extremes. We're just pushing up, riding SD2 up, and the Nasdaq is leading this. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to do anything right now. I was short a little while ago, caught some good ticks, but it's got a lot of bid under it. So I don't want to fight this going up, particularly with the ECB announcement coming in a minute and a half, and then GDP at the bottom of the hour. So we'll see what we can do with this. Let's see, I just made a coffee and I forgot to go get it. I'm still connected here, aren't I, JVC?
You are, although you're just starting to cut out.
Okay, how about right now? Does it come back in clear?
Yeah, right now it's fine.
Okay. All right, well, that's cool then. It's interesting. If I don't go too far away, it doesn't go into the roboto voice.
Right.
But if I get too far away, once that starts, I can't reconnect cleanly without. I have to restart the headset connection. This Bluetooth connection. Look at this. We're pushing the highs again. We're at 46.26. The Nasdaq's up 1.3%. Everything else is following sympathetically, but not in as much of a move. Ooh, this could be scalpable right here. Let's see if we can catch a pop. Since we're not going to have internals, I won't turn my sound on, but I'm going to try to fade this right here. Lots of buying, though. Should pop through here. Again, the ECB decision's coming up pretty soon. I doubt that's just going to push us up farther. We're already up 200 points, but got to be careful fading strong moves. We could go see the all-time highs in the next couple of days. It's totally possible. Okay, absorption right there. I got filled on 2 of my 5. Now we got the rest of them. Okay, let's just put a little target in here, maybe right there. And okay, there's the ECB announcement. And boom. Took profits. Okay, I'll take it. Let's cancel that other order. Picked up a little $20 bill using your dome as an ATM, my favorite subject. So let's see what we can get going today. Boy, yesterday's close was bat crap crazy. Did you trade it, JVC?
Just that one scalp during your session.
Yeah,
which was a 3-point scalp in like 2 seconds. So I can't complain.
Yeah, it was totally crazy.
And that was full ES mini. So that was a lovely little way to end the day for sure.
Oh yeah. It was a crazy move. It went up. Yeah, I posted this in the pit. It got to what, SD3 on the high side?
3.5.
Yeah, and then instantly down to -2 the other way.
Oh crap! Wow, I didn't watch. Damn.
Oh yeah, nuts. Yeah. All right, we're getting a big pump up now on the ECB numbers. So I'm just going to fade this a little bit, but I want it to kind of run away before I get too aggressive. I'm just baby swarming this. We should get a little sweep down here in a second after that absorption. And again, I don't want to get too ambitious here, so we'll take profits pretty fast. And here it comes, sweep down, filled. Let's get the other half off. Well, we got 5 off, come on. All right, we'll take it right, boom, got them. Okay, so yeah, let me bring that up. I posted it in the pit yesterday. Where was that? Close. I'm not sure what I called it. Let's see. Great extremes.
Might be easier to find in recent conversations.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, no, it was one of the, here, hang on. I posted it last night, so let's see. Room alerts. Great extremes to play since FOMC. This is it. Yeah, look at ES. It was the most fun. Almost, I mean, it touched SD4, SD3 and a half,
Yeah.
and then boom, right down to SD2 at the other end. I mean, just
Damn.
yeah, just that was such a beautiful trade. Anyway, and I posted my fills as well on that one in the other stream. So look at this, we're at 34 now. Wow. All right, you don't want to be fading this up here. It's really strong, and we have GDP coming. You just saw me manage to do it and make a little money, but this is, you don't want to get on the wrong side of this. We could open and this could run for a while. So let's sit on our hands until we see the GDP number and see if we can catch. I'd love to catch a real extreme, like, if it pushed up from here to maybe 70 or 80, that would be a decent spot to try to fade it. There's liquidity at 50 in NQ, and there's liquidity everywhere above us in ES and absorption right here. But if you look at the footprint in ES, we're smack dab in the middle. And, it's a long way to the edges, so anything could happen. This is a very crazy market we're getting, but you can't disregard the bid under it. It's a very strong bid. So if you're going to trade short, you've got to be really careful and very diligent about where you do it. And if you're going to go with these moves, you pretty much have to already be in them before the ledge breaks. Now, for example, if you're trying to go long with the ledge break, you have to be long before the ledge. What you did yesterday was a perfect example, JVC. Buy the pullback, and when there's not a price rejector.
Yeah, it was the perfect textbook setup. We had not a price rejector, as opposed to we didn't have a price rejector. We had not a price rejector at the top, and then we got a price rejector on the pullback bar 3 points below. It was just okay, jump in, boom, and then 2 seconds later I was out.
Yep. Yeah, I posted it as we were talking about that. I posted that image in that session. So if you guys are interested, you should check that out. It was if you like structure, or if you're like me, where you use structural clues to give you context, it was perfect. No matter which way you wanted to play it, it was so clear what was happening. I'm a guy who likes to fade ledge breaks, so that's what I was doing. But it was a great setup to go long.
And for the structural trader, that was the perfect setup to just sit back and just wait and wait and wait and do nothing and do nothing. And then once you see it, it was like, okay, here we go. Here's the wind up. Here's the pitch. Knock it out of the park. Done.
And then, that was a really good trade. You could have traded the reversal too. Once you got the long at the top, you could have easily gotten short, because it was really clear that was over up there.
Yeah. If you like outside in, that was obviously a good one. I'm so much more comfortable inside out. I was happy to get it and be done.
Yeah. You and Lee are with the inside out. It's funny.
And I have completely flipped on that, because I used to, prior to TRG, I was like damn near a permafader. I just like, all I ever wanted to do was go the other way 100% of the time. I couldn't get with any move. I just couldn't do it. And now I see a total opposite.
Well, that's good that you could adapt like that. For me, I wouldn't call myself a permafader. I just love extremes, because I don't have to think about the risk management. It's really easy to calculate. When I'm trying to join a move like that, and I do it. In fact, in the upcoming scalping class that we're going to have in August, I'm going to talk about how to determine whether to go with a ledge break or fade it like I do. And I do go with them. I don't just always fade them. And then there's many situations like that one we're talking about yesterday, where it was a perfect trade to do a reversal. So you get long, you put a target up there, and your target is bigger than your position. So, you're long 10 and your target is sell 20. So you take your 10 off and you put 10 on short. That would have been the perfect way to play that, particularly at that time of the day. It was really clear it was going to break that ledge, but it was also really clear it didn't have a lot of energy to go much farther. It was getting absorbed and whatnot.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's already at SD3.5 to 4. Exactly. Come on, how far is it going to
go? and that's what makes the risk management so easy to do. You're at a 99.9% extreme. Yes, that's just statistics. So it could break that. And if it does, it just makes it even better. And that's what people don't understand about statistics. The more extreme you are, the better your odds are of being right. But you have to be able to manage the risk as you trade that position. And that's what people don't do well. They just keep thinking, well, sooner or later it's going to turn. Yeah, but you can't just keep fading it, because everybody doing that has to get run over before it will turn. And that's the thing.
The problem with sooner or later is later.
Yeah. And how far away is later in terms of risk? That's the big question. And so I'm going to be emphasizing this a lot more in my class sessions, because there's a lot of people that are developing, decent little edges But the problem they're having, and there's a couple in the room right now, is they blow up because they don't manage the risk all the time. And if you're getting it right most of the time and you're blowing up every now and then, that's very easy to fix if you really dial in on where and why you're doing it. But a lot of people don't want to put in that work. That's, you have to journal and log your trade. What was the setup? Where am I wrong? What is my risk between here and where I'm wrong? Is that legitimate? Does that make sense to do? And some of the times it does, some of the times it doesn't. I just had that happen 5 minutes ago when I was doing these shorts. The first couple of times it was perfect, but then as it, continued not to pull back very far, I realized that, I'm taking more risk here than I want to. So I'm much better off backing off a bit and letting it get much more extreme. And, you have to constantly be thinking that way instead of just, oh, I just have to keep scaling and it'll work sooner or later. You just can't do that. You have to really understand the math of your risk management as it's doing that. And that's where the edge is. The statistical edge is the setup. At any ledge going either way, your odds are really, really, really good. But if you can't manage the risk of your position, then it doesn't matter how good your odds are. And so, anyway, this has been a very tricky summer to trade. I keep watching in the Facebook groups all over and on Twitter, a lot of people are blowing accounts up because they just don't understand. Summer volume is low. This happens every year. And the book's thin. So the market's going to overshoot the places you're trading. And if you don't have appropriate sizing for the risk management, you're going to blow up. It's just that simple, particularly if you're in a trailing drawdown situation like, the evaluators use. Those are designed to come up and get you under those circumstances. You can be profitable every day and still hit the drawdown. So, yes, risk management, Calvin. That's definitely a topic. I know you've been, struggling with BUBBAs and whatnot. For newer people, this is a really important one, and they don't generally understand it for a couple of years. It's a really hard one to wrap your brain around. People think, well, I'll use R to R. My target is 3 points and my stop is 2 points. You can't do that. The market doesn't trade that way. The market goes where it wants to. It's an auction. It blows through levels. It blows down levels. And if you're trading that way, you will get stopped out at the absolute best places to be actually trading. So you just can't do that. But you have to really, watch the traded volume. And once again, just to keep promoting it for TRG members, starting Tuesdays, for August, we have a new class we're going to have every Tuesday called Care and Feeding of Inflection Points, which is exactly about this. Like right now, this is a beautiful, clean top, but it only has a little bit of absorption, and it got bought all the way up there. So, is this likely to blow at some point? Yeah, it is. Not right now with news coming, but, I wouldn't be, just overwhelmingly short here. On the other hand, the GDP number could certainly change that. So we'll see what happens when we get GDP. Another quick look at the footprint. It's totally consolidating in the middle of the range. These blue lines are the initial balance from yesterday, so it's just above the initial balance, which is bullish. I mean, it's hard to argue with it. Look at that. We're up 1.3% in the NASDAQ, 0.75% in ES and RTY, and I'm, 0.38 YM, whatever. But the volume, it's only 174. The book is really thin. Look at the order book over here in ES. There's barely levels with 3 digits on them. This is just a recipe to get run over. And that's what the summer does. Doesn't mean you can't trade it. It just means what you have been doing that was working in the fall and in the winter, in the summer may not work as well because, you're dealing with slightly different conditions, but they're different enough that they can really impact you. So if you want to review risk management, I strongly recommend all of the videos in the library in the business of trading risk management section. Because my first 3 risk managements, and then there's a lab, a 4th one. And then Lee does a really good risk management structurally in the subsequent sessions. I think there's 2 or 3 more there. So TRGers or guests who might want to buy a library pass, I strongly recommend checking that out. I'm going to grab the link for it while we're waiting for GDP in 3 minutes. Risk management is so critical. Even if you have a good edge, but if you don't have a good edge, then it really matters. That's what's so funny about it. the worse you are as a trader or the less experienced you are, the more you need to understand risk management and make it your primary objective. So anyway, business of trading, risk management. This is where it is. And then 1, 2, and 3 are my swarming and basic risk management. There's a lab, and then statistical ranges. There's 2 of those and a round table. So there's 7 videos in this series, and I would highly recommend reviewing them. So let me post that in the chat. There it is. And again, if you're not a member, you could buy a library pass and watch the videos. Or what's library pass? $20, $19, something, JVC?
It depends. You got daily, weekly, and monthly. But the daily is I think $20, and then there's a weekly and a monthly. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, so you could get the daily.
It's a cheap way to dip your toe in for sure.
Yeah, and you could watch all 7 videos. That's like 14 hours. So.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
An easy binge for sure.
Yep. And I do recommend that. This is a topic that a lot of traders just don't understand. For example, a simple piece of that is when you enter a trade, no matter what you're doing in that trade, you should have already accepted the catastrophic loss you could have in that trade. You should know what it is and accept it. And the catastrophic loss is what's the worst thing that could happen right now. If you're not doing that, then that's your first mistake right there. Jeff, could I do you a favor? At the end of the session, can you drop your Jigsaw workplaces? I believe they are already there, but I'll do it right now. We still have another minute and a half here. We're at templates. I think it's there, but let's see. Ducks, Jigsaw. I don't know how current it is. Ducks current Jigsaw workspace. This is as of January. Yeah, that's probably not current. Let me grab a fresh one for you right now. Oh, where art thou, Jigsaw Trading? Workspaces, and the one we're in right now is June 23 version 5. That is it. Give it a second to load. You ask and you receive, Jeffrey. There it is. Okay. All right, let's watch the GDP number and see if we can grab some scalps around it. I'm going to trade these left 2 downs. It's 2 different Apex accounts. I'm not going to trade my PA unless it really looks good. I'll switch one of these to one of the PAs. But for right now, and I was trying to do a Apex only with NQ, not using micros at all, like I'm doing in Top Step, where it's going pretty good because I'm being really risk averse. And I blew that one up again. It's really hard to work NQ if you want to get aggressive. Much easier to swarm micros. And the Top Step account, because they only allow 5 contracts, even in micros, I'm just trading NQ, but I'm only doing it at really significant extremes where it's really a good trade. All right, here we go. We got the GDP numbers, obviously, and we're in price discovery. The number came in a little higher than expected, I believe. It's not printing it on my Jigsaw, but that's what I'm hearing in my other ear. So that is a little bit, that could scare the market a bit if it's a little, again, the Fed thinks we might have averted recession. The GDP gets too hot. They might have to come back with, there it is. Okay. Oh, it came in below estimate. Okay, that's interesting. So the economy is cooling down. The Fed's going to like that. The market should like that too. That's interesting. See, all we did was we just tested both sides of the extreme range there. And we're still up here at the highs. So the market pretty much likes this. So this could be very interesting. I don't see a trade here. We just have too much movement in both directions. I certainly wouldn't short. I certainly wouldn't be long. That's how I decide if there's a trade. Is this a short? No. Could this be a long? No. It's too much in the middle. I can't game it. I can't manage risk. I can't trade it. That's simple. You're welcome, Jeffrey. Okay, so let's see. This could settle down into a good trade, but right now it's not. Yeah, Brian, Palm Springs, California. How is that 121 degree out there? Oh, I had a house down there for 20 years and I loved the heat, and now I hate it. I will only go down there when it's not hot. I used to ride motorcycles in the desert, and it was my vacation home for a long time. And my parents had one down there when I was a kid. That's where I used to ride my dirt bikes. I have flown over the handlebars many times in the deserts surrounding Indio. Yeah, blast furnace, exactly. Boy, the poor doggos, they can't even walk on the sidewalk. You got to walk your dog, on grass or something. And a lot of people aren't understanding that the pavement is, scorching hot on their pads. And
I heard that in Arizona and Phoenix, emergency rooms are getting people coming in with severe burns from having fallen down and touched the ground.
Yep. I heard that too.
I mean, just what?
Yeah, I'm with you, Calvin. I'm up here in Gig Harbor, Washington, where it's a beautiful 50 degrees right now. I've got my windows open. The cool ocean air is blowing in. There's a possum in my backyard drinking out of the water bowl that I put out there for him. It's pretty cool.
We had a family of raccoons hanging out on our fence the other night, a mama and 4 babies. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool when they're called kits, little raccoons.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very cute, and they have those little faces. They're like,
oh yeah, they were adorable.
Little bandits. Yeah.
You so want to just run out there and say hi and play with them, but no, bad idea. Yeah, they've been breaking in the Cambria house that I was living in before I came up here. There's a chicken coop, and they've been trying to break into the chicken coop. It's pretty funny. They're climbing over the fence. And, so Dozer and Alice, they're living there now. That's the 2 doodles. Are on raccoon duty all night. It's pretty funny. Here we go. We're getting a push up. This might be fadeable. Let's see if we can grab a short up here. Maybe right there. Let it pop through. But I don't want to be too aggressive here. We're getting a little absorption, and we're pretty extended, which is why I might try this here. But there's some good absorption. There we go. We got it. Okay, let's see if we can grab a quick $50. And come on. And it's popping a bit. All right, we'll go for a quick $25 instead. And we should be able to get that. Come on, sweep down. Should see a sweep down here, but I'm going to fade a little higher up. And we should be able to get a fill on this one. This is tricky. The market's got a bid under it. Wow. Okay. Wow. It's going to run up. This is going to be a great open, guys. We are rocking and rolling in NASDAQ. Nothing else is going with it by much. Yes, it's only up 1%. So if you fade this very carefully, you could make some money, but you got to really fade it slow. I mean, it could run way up here before it gets any sort of selling. But it's price discovery. So I can feel there's a big move coming. Here we go. There we go. Okay, we got that one. See if we can catch another little drop. Otherwise, I'll just take profits right there. Okay, cool. Again, another puncture up here could get interesting, but that was a quick $35 with 10 micros. I'll take it. $10 commission. It's $25. Use your dome as an ATM. Here it comes. We're going to blow this ledge again. We're going to blow ledges all the open. So be careful getting short. In fact, I'm going to get out of the way here. If this really gets rocking and rolling and we continue to stay correlated, look, NQ and RTY are leading. That is always what you want to look for in a move up. So if everybody gets above 1% and stays there, look out. We could rock and roll. We could see all-time highs. Remember, the all-time highs are right above us. This is wild. Here's NQ on the far left. The all-time highs right there from just before the previous year. These dash lines are the years. So it's been on a tear since this year started, recovered almost all of the crash last year, and it's almost at all-time highs. Same story with ES right here, and the second one from the left. Look at YM. It took out that. It's almost there. We're going to break those. It's just that simple. And look at RTY. I've been saying this for 2 weeks. It's been recovering. If it can clear these 2 previous highs, it's going to have joined the party. So we will be firing on all cylinders. That's been the problem before. RTY has been rebalancing and doing other stuff, and it got hit with the banking problem. And by the way, I posted some stuff in Surfing the Markets. All the little regional banks are consolidating, which is really interesting. So, take 5 banks that all have a crappy balance sheet and combine it into one bank with a crappy balance sheet that's bigger. I mean, that's literally what's going on right now, guys. And, that's just an accident waiting to happen. But it might happen 3 years from now. But that small banking sector is just going to get crushed at some point. I mean, it has already a few times, but if you look at the heat map of the Russell, this is that sector here. It's all bright green because of all these acquisitions of, literally it's the weak buying the weak.
every time that's happened in business in the United States or any other developed economy, and I have an economics degree, I've studied this, that never works out well. It just doesn't. You're look at the savings and loan crisis. That's the exact same thing that happened. They all consolidated their crappy balance sheets. So you had like Countrywide, just literally was upside down billions of dollars. And with the small regional bank, something like that, we have a reckoning coming, but who knows when. All right. Yeah, heat index in Virginia. Hey, what about down in Florida where the ocean is over 100 degrees? It's a sauna. It's crazy. Yep, stay very frosty. Exactly. Ah. Oh, really? That's interesting. I had a connection to Countrywide through one of the private equity funds, and Mazzolo just died recently, but he was the chairman and CEO of Countrywide, and yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. It's mind-boggling. They knew that wasn't. It was like Enron, same thing. These guys weren't that stupid. They knew what they were doing, and they thought they'd get away with it, or they did get away with it for a while. Oh, cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they all know exactly what they're doing. Yep. Yeah, Tim Scott's another example, the Florida guy that with all the Medicare and Medicaid fraud, and now he's a senator after billions of dollars of fraud. He was convicted of it. It's mind-boggling. Anyway, all right. Let's go ahead and burning desires once. Questions, comments. I'd love to keep doing this, but we can go another 10 or 15 minutes. But I have a coaching session at the top of the hour, so. But let's watch this for a while. Look at all this absorption over here in ES, and we're above it. Somebody asked me, who was it that asked me about how to use the heat map? I think that was Renaud, and he's not here. Anyway, this is a really good example. See, these are all blue. Those are absorptions. It's trading on the ask at the top here, but it keeps going up. So whenever it's above one of those, those people that sold there are off sides, and you see now it's trading red and blue, which means it's back and forth on both sides of the tape. But it blew on the way up here. We just blew right through all the people that were selling into that. So this could have some legs. We could have a massive short squeeze day. Like I said, those all-time highs are just above us, and we will get. There's no question we will trade those given this kind of strength. It's just a question of when. And also the thin book. Look at this right now. We're trading 33 in ES. Until we get to 40, there's no significant liquidity. It could be a quick 7 points for no reason, just because there's no liquidity there. And then it hits the liquidity, and then it pauses. And you really got to pay attention to the traded volume and the liquidity, the interaction of those. That's really where the good edges are. Oh, here we go. We could get that ledge break right now. This is just going to get puked. It is sooner or later, but let's see what the structure up there is. This doesn't look right. Yeah, it is. Huh. Okay. Oh, I know. I'm sorry, because we're not open yet, so it's just this little profile here. Let's look at the TPO view. I think that will be more educational. Here's the TPO view. Yeah, look at this. We're in this tight little range right here above the value area of yesterday, and the recent high is right up here just above us. So wait a second, this isn't right. 45.93. What the heck? Is this on the wrong contract or something? JVC, help me troubleshoot this real quick if you could.
Sure. What's going on?
Look at this. Why is this not updating?
I can't see.
None of my Ninja, or none of my Sierra is updating.
Is it connected? Check your go to the
it's green. It's green.
Okay. I would first try disconnect and reconnect.
Just restart it.
No, just file, disconnect, reconnect. Okay, just go to the file menu. Oh, okay.
Hold on. Yeah, sorry, I just did that.
No problem.
It's faster.
Oh, okay.
Let it do that again. That's really weird.
I have that on a hotkey, so I can just click.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, I'm not. Sierra for me is just context. So let's see if it reloads. It's right. God, that's weird, because I'm watching the price on my other one, and wait a minute, it's at 46.32. That's not right at all. So let's see. It's okay. It's green. It's loading. And now I'm not getting that weird error I got yesterday. I've never seen that error before. And let's see if it gets the right prices this time. Boy, you really got to watch it when you're on multiple platforms that you're getting the correct information, you know? Okay, it's loading right now. 828. Yep, now it's correct. Now it's got the NASDAQ right. Okay. Yep. Okay, well, this is what I wanted to show you. Here's the correct TPO view now. So see, look at all these single prints we left on the way up. But we're trading above yesterday's, well, above the last 2 days. And it's look at this.
And those are zero prints, by the way, right? You're talking about?
No, these are single
TPO.
This is TPO. Those are.
I know, but it couldn't have left single prints unless it only traded. Wait, I can't. Oh, it's too small for me. I can't. Can you stretch it out a little bit? I'm not sure I'm seeing the same thing.
It's on the far right.
Oh, here we go. We'll scroll off screen. There they are. Okay, it was just so small on my screen I couldn't see them. Okay,
yep. Yeah, they're the dashes, the kind of yeah. Those are all single prints. So this could and we're up here. The yellow is where we are. So yeah, this is a crazy day, guys. Be very careful how you play this. But the strength you can't argue with, but it's all pre-market strength. We don't know what's going to happen when we open, and we can just come right back down and clean all that up and then rally or not. So there's going to be a lot of good action to trade today, but you really got to be nimble about where you do it and how aggressively you do it. That's my admonishment, to be risk management oriented. All right. Well, now we're just about at the half hour mark, and we've had a little fun, traded a little bit, restarted our Sierra chart. Are there any other questions or comments? I'll be happy to entertain them for a few minutes. And again, TRG people, make sure you, if you're interested, come to Care and Feeding of Inflection Points on Tuesdays. It will be right at the initial balance, so an hour after the open. And also watch for an upcoming announcement. We're going to do a mini boot camp in August, and it ought to be a lot of fun. And also, I believe Lee is working up some new high-end statistical stuff for a course sometime in the next, I'll say 8 weeks. So keep an eye on that. Yeah, I'm kind of with, I have Amy's comment about only trading evals this morning. I have a risk management hierarchy. When I come up to my computer, the first thing I do is I say, is this tradable at all? Or should I just be sitting on my hands? And sometimes I'll gamble a little bit in an eval just for fun, but I won't do it in PAs and I won't do it in my cash accounts. And then if it clears that test, that there's a setup there, then the first thing is I say, okay, an eval is the least risk, so I'll do that. If I like what I'm seeing, then I'll trade my PAs and cash accounts. And in the last couple of days, I've been very cautious in my PAs because it's easy to blow them up. This volatility with a trailing drawdown. And I do have one that's static at this point, but I just haven't had time to trade that one. So anyway, I totally agree, Amy. You have to have a hierarchy of risk management, because every situation is going to be, like we were talking about earlier, is going to merit a different level of risk. And you can't just do one thing all the time. And you have to also be mindful of the time of the day. If you're going to trade pre-market like this, you got to do it with less size than if you're trading regular trading hours, because it's so thin and the volume's low. You're just asking to get run over, and you can't be that aggressive. Otherwise, you won't be able to manage risk, right? So, it does. It really does. And it's easy to blow 20 accounts up real fast doing that. I only trade in chunks of 5 now if I'm copying, because the worst case is I blow 5 of them up, but I don't blow up all 20 because I haven't blown up 20, but I've blown up 10. So you're welcome. Trade them for a few ticks when they're copying. I'm in the same boat, and if you catch runners, great, then you can protect it and it's perfect. But you have to be very tick and point oriented and take your profits. I get, Lee brings this up, but it's worthy of mentioning again. If you're doing, just for an example, if you're doing a 25K with a $1,500 trailing drawdown, if you are profitable by $200 on a trade and you take $100 of profit and you do that over 10 days, you will fail the PA, because the trailing drawdown sneaks up underneath you. And so you really got to manage risk. All right, let's go ahead and wrap her up. Any final questions, comments, burning desires? Otherwise, let's see. Today we have the trading the stats. Does that start right at the open?
He starts how many minutes before? I know it's a little bit ahead. Let me check his actual schedule. Oh no, okay, it is scheduled for right on the open, but yeah, he always opens it about 5 minutes or so ahead. Give a little context. So,
all right, cool. Well, guys, check that out. And
yeah, today will be some new stuff too. He's going to be showing us sneak previews of some nifty new things he's been working on that he's told me about, but I haven't gotten to see yet either. So I'm really looking forward to actually seeing stuff. So,
oh, cool. I might drop in on that too, depending on what the open is looking like. All right, cool. Any other questions, comments? Yes. Process, not profit. Exactly. Process leads to profits, not profits leads to process. Exactly. Make sure you don't have that backwards. All right. Good job. Yeah, exactly, Amy. I so agree with that. These are weird summer days, and you can be right and get run over. It's all about managing risk. Just stay nimble. Nothing else matters right now. That's my final admonition. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you later. Make sure you check out Lee's session. It should be very interesting, and that'll be starting right before the open.